Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
Ryan White obviously had a huge impact on how many Americans saw people living with AIDS. He also had a big impact on you. You became very close to him. You became very close to his mother. What was it about him that kind of made you focus your attention?
Well, it took a child, i.e. Ryan White, to change the face and the attention of the American government at that time, who had done absolutely nothing for AIDS. The Bush administration, the senior Bush administration, and the Reagan administration before it had completely ignored AIDS. And when this child got AIDS, then suddenly everyone was interested. I remember Elizabeth Glazer, I had lunch with her. She formed the Pediatric AIDS Foundation. She went to Washington. She had to beg for help. And finally they got help. But this was for children. They weren't even enthusiastic about, helping children with AIDS. So when Ryan White emerged and became a kind of hero, a folk hero, forever and ever, and I became friends with him because I was so astonished and terrified at the way he was being treated and his family were being treated, that I did get off my fat backside and befriended the family, befriended Ryan, and became friends with him for quite some time. Until, unfortunately, he died. I was there for the last week of his life in Indianapolis with Howie Long and Judith Light, and the wonderful Ryan White family, who had the ability, after all they went through, the Christian ability to forgive the people that had been so horrendously awful to them. I want to play for our viewers just a little bit, for those who didn't remember Ryan, or maybe for the generation who's grown up without knowing who he was. He and Imam were fighting for his right to attend school. He really became an activist in his own right. Let's just take a look.
I'm just one of the kids, and all because the students at Hamilton High School listened to the facts, educated their parents and themselves, and believed in me.
He did pass away, I think, in 1990, and you were actually there those final weeks, right?
Yeah, I was. I actually did do something good for the last week of his life by being in the hospital, answering the phones, becoming Jeannie's secretary, basically. Anderson, it took this child to die with dignity. He never complained. He never blamed anyone. Let's face it, he got this disease through a blood transfusion. He was a hemophiliac. He never complained. He never blamed anyone. He didn't hate anybody. And it took this child to kind of galvanize people in this country to actually start to do something about AIDS for everyone. Once a child got it, then it was like, oh, well, then it must be important. And I don't say that derogatorily. I just said that the gay people who had been before were completely forgotten about. And it took Ryan White to come through with his beautiful Christian attitude of forgiveness and courage and dignity to actually further this cause. And if it hadn't have been for him, God knows where we would have been right now.
I used to say, Ryan, how do you do it? How are you not ever so upset at everybody because of how they're treating you? He'd say, Mom, they're just trying to protect their own kids like you're trying to protect me. And he used to always tell me to keep my chin up. He said, Mom, just keep your chin up. And I'd find myself lowering my head. He'd say, Mom, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Keep that chin up.